Good morning, and welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. I'm Dave, and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope our service this morning finds you happy and healthy, but know that if you are struggling, we hope that Temple Buddhist Center can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and your loved ones. Let's begin this morning with a few conscious breaths, taking a few moments to ground, to experience the body, and to breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, and pause for a moment before releasing slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let's begin. Breathing in, pausing just a moment, feeling the fullness of the lungs, and releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, just being aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. In a second conscious breath, pausing just a moment, ventilating this precious human form, then releasing slowly. As you release, see if you can release any worry or concerns from the week, all the energy of doing, going, striving, accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being, not doing. And a third conscious breath together, releasing slowly. And as you release, taking time to invite into your awareness the present moment, fully arriving in the here and now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer, it's about having a voice. And Victor is going to explain today's chant. Once he turns on his microphone.
Thank you so much for being here this morning. Our chant today is Om Tare Tu Tare, Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare, Ture Soha. And this is the chant that honors the green Tara, the female Buddha, the essence of love and compassion. You'll often see this as a center of many mandalas or statues. And so that is the green Tara. And so with that, let's take a conscious breath together. And as always, chanting is not about being a singer, it's about having a voice. It's about sharing a deeply devotional aspect of what is sacred within you and sharing that with the world. And so with that, let's begin. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. 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 With a smile. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Once more. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha.
Here at TBC, we practice Western Buddhism, which is a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focuses on core Buddhist insights, mindfulness, meditation, and their practical application in our daily lives. Our goal here is not to get everyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you'll participate only at the level that feels comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our own Buddha nature as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, allowing a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion and help us realize the true nature of who we are. And Sangha, our spiritual community, an essential part of the growth where we practice the teachings together and support each other along every step of the path. Please take a moment to silence any electronic devices and prepare a meditative environment. And let's prepare now for the prayer of refuge. We will recite this together 3 times in honor of the 3 jewels. Together.
In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully
awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we enter a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to practice in a way that is fitting for you this morning. If you're new to meditation, then we'll begin with an opening dedication. We will sound the bell 3 times. There will be a brief guided meditation, and then we will spend approximately 12 to 15 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin by breathing together with a conscious breath. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness. I send my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And so as the sound of the bell recedes, moving into stillness, showing us the way. If you need to take another conscious breath or adjust your posture slightly, anything that you need to do to bring a sense of gentleness and ease to the body, then that's perfectly acceptable. And as the breath settles in to its natural flow, its natural rhythm, we bring our awareness to the rise and fall of the tummy. With each in-breath and out-breath. And every out-breath brings a new level of relaxation and comfort, ease and spaciousness to the body. And so, connected to the breath by being aware of the rise and fall of the tummy, the body is easy and light, gentle, relaxed, making sure that the forehead is relaxed and the eyebrows are unfurrowed, the shoulders are dropped, softening the belly. And from here, we can bring our awareness to awareness itself. Noticing when the mind becomes distracted by a sound inside the room or in the hallway. Noticing when the mind becomes engaged with a sensation like an itch or an ache or the feeling of hot or cold. Noticing when the mind becomes obsessed with a thought or a string of thoughts. All these things simply come and go, rise and fall, appear and disappear. It is our practice to put space around them and simply allow them to arise, to appear and disappear, to enter into awareness and just as quickly to leave. And so connected to the breath, the body is gentle and spacious. The mind is clear yet receptive to whatever arises, and the heart is open. We can move more deeply now into our meditation. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. And so at this time, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice or the sound of the air handlers. And at the same time, can you also remain in meditation? Can you also be aware of the silence within that is undisturbed by external circumstances? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch as you notice the feeling of your clothing upon your skin, or the feeling of the chair or the cushion beneath you. And at the same time, you become aware of material, matter, and form. Can you also be aware of the awareness itself? Being the knower, not that which is known. And next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes. And as you begin to allow in a little bit of light, not really focusing hard on anything, at the time you begin to notice things and objects, walls and chairs and people. And at the same time, can you also see the space around them? The space around the room? Can you sense the space around the building? Around our planet? And next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath as we take a conscious breath together. And as you release, becoming present in the here and the now, and with the sound of the return bell. Thank you so much, Dave. And good morning, everybody. It's so nice to be here with all of you. I think that before we begin this morning, Before we begin this morning, let's take a moment to recognize all those who may be noticing or recognizing the passing of Queen Elizabeth. There are many in our community that this is an important event. And so we want to honor that, open our hearts to them. And at the same time, more close to home, we could take time, in fact, a moment of silence for us to recognize 9/11, the events that occurred so many years ago, in 2011, which really shook the country to its core. And at the same time that we open our hearts to those who may be grieving, may be missing those loved ones, at the same time we can open our hearts to those whose hearts are not open, to those whose hearts are so hardened that they have the capacity to bring such suffering into the world. Thank you. I don't know if you guys, I could simply not talk about the changes in the weather, in the time. There is so much going on. This is such an auspicious weekend. I mean, I got here this morning and the Plaza 10K race was going on, and there's runners and excitement everywhere. I met a friend yesterday at the Spinach Festival. She was operating the pedicab. That's the little bicycle cab where people can ride in it. And so I met her for lunch, and then she went and did that. There's just so much change going on. Schools starting up, all these festivals and jazz festivals and possum trots and old settlers. Even the fact that some of you, and be honest, how many of you have started kind of looking in your sweater and scarf box, just seeing what's there? I know I've been doing that. And of course, the fall foliage, a couple of people have mentioned a few of their trees are starting to show signs of changing. In other words, the trees are beginning to whisper to each other. And so all of this just seems like nature and life is just beckoning us out to play. And so I could not talk about that today. The word guardian, from Middle English is, the word is taken from the Middle English word garden. And I thought this very fitting. Even during some of the darkest times of my life, I am led instinctively to nature, to plant life, and almost always to trees. When I'm in their presence, there is a remembering, there is a kind of a recognition, a recognizing of something within each other. And so the talk today is an invitation to honor our relationship with nature, expressed through and as us. With prajna, insight, wisdom, all questions fall to the ground like so many leaves when we embrace nature, when we see ourselves as natural, not separate. I was so inspired by Robert's talk last Sunday when he was talking about this search for the sacred and how in all of our scientific exploration in studying nature, it has created this thing where we think that we're something studying something else. It's created separation. We are nature. We don't have a life. We are life. That's a huge distinction. So in this talk today about nature, I'm not saying get outside more. Well, okay, maybe I am saying that. But more importantly, it is the quality that you bring to even the smallest experiences with nature, whether that's the breeze from an open window, a moment that you connect with a plant or a flower, all the way up to maybe you're hang gliding in the Swiss Alps next week. I don't know, but again, as Eckhart Tolle reminds us, it's not what you do, it is the quality of the doing. And so in Buddhism, plants, nature, and trees have long been recognized as living things worthy of recognition and even protection. The Buddha was born under the lush Lumbini grove and later became enlightened under a Bodhi tree. At the end of his life, he also physically passed while nestled in a grove of sala trees. In Thailand, the forest monks perform ordinations and actually ordain trees in order to save, preserve, and protect them. So, when you think about it, most of human evolution has actually taken place in nature. It's really only been the past 200 or 250 years that we have reduced our interaction with the outdoors. That's an incredibly small amount of time that we have stopped walking barefoot in the dirt and the grass, stopped spending time in the trees, spending more time indoors, because now we have air conditioning and heating, and indoors we have so many screens. It'd be scary, I'm not going to give this as homework, but it would be scary to count the number of screens at your home. And so going back to nature can bring us to a heightened state of sensory awareness and a feeling of alert calm, engaged calm that gives spontaneous rise to peace and spaciousness. Not the spaciousness of being outdoors, that vast open spaciousness within, that when we're out in nature, we recognize, and it reminds us. When we are immersed in nature, especially for those new to meditation and mindfulness, it becomes easier to reach a peaceful state of mind by paying attention to our senses and moving in the garden or the park or out in nature mindfully. We can not only get all the benefits of meditation for our minds, but also our immunity and that which creates good health and a sense of ease within our bodies. It is because we are guided at that moment by the greatest teacher of all, nature. What questions do we have in nature that are not instantly answered? The cycles of life are laid right there for us to see. Our presence, our belonging, our connection is instantly verified, validated by every tree, every plant, every bush. And the key is that the moment you experience a flower or a tree or the sound of a bird singing, notice the mind wants to quickly look and label. That's what minds do. Aren't they cute? But the key is in that moment before mind is engaged, that fraction of a second when there is just the awareness of the flower, of the tree, of the bird, because that's where they are. And that's when we leave them, when we go up and get all distracted in the mind. Eckhart Tolle reminds us, he says, we depend on nature not only for our physical survival, we also need nature to show us the way home, the way out of the prison of our own minds. We get lost in doing, thinking, analyzing, labeling, remembering, anticipating, lost in a maze of complexity and a world of problems. The Buddha used to say, everybody has exactly 83 problems. If you want to have no problems, you have 84. We have forgotten what rocks, plants, flowers, animals still know. We have forgotten how to just be. We have forgotten to be still. We've forgotten to be ourselves, purely. We've forgotten to be where life is, here and now. So let's remember together a few of some of nature's most important teachings. I've chosen just a couple. There are, well, frankly, they're innumerable. But here's a couple. Number one, nature teaches us that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Wow. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. When you are alone in nature, you get relief from sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, classism, all the other ways that we label and discriminate. Black, white, gay, straight, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. It is so overwhelming and so heavy and complex. It's so crushing. In nature, we get relief from this oppression, from all these ways that we stigmatize and belittle one another. Nature accepts us exactly as we are. Never in nature, when you see sprinkled amongst the pine trees, there's an aspen, never is that aspen not supposed to be there. Never in the bouquet of daisies where there might be a carnation is, oh, this is wrong. In the Buddhist practice, we have a saying, no snowflake ever fell on the wrong spot. Nature teaches us this. If we have an open heart to listen, but if you try to listen here with the head, it's going to be difficult. Number two, in nature, time slows down. Never do we stand there waiting for, the rose to grow. Come on, hurry up. What is taking so long? Urgency, deadlines, clock time, calendar time, measured by hours, minutes, seconds, all these things melt away in nature. Nature models for us a healthier pace of life. Trees and plants grow slowly. Deer graze calmly. Rabbits and squirrels may scamper about, but everything is moving according to their natural rhythm. And in nature, we begin to do the same. It amazes me. When I'm camping, I go to bed when the sun goes down. But at home, I can binge watch Downton Abbey until 2 o'clock in the morning. Or whatever show comes on. Insert blank, right? Isn't that funny? Look at that. When I'm camping, I get up with the sun, I go to bed with the sun. It seems so natural. No alarm clocks. Not that I pay attention to the one I have anyway, but. Number three, nature models just enough as a way of life, as a sustainable practice. Our culture teaches us that we never have enough. We strive to make more money, buy more things, eat more delicious food. Mainstream culture encourages us not to think about how this overconsumption affects others, just as the sweatshop laborers who make our clothes, or the people or the animals who depend on climate, all these things out of balance. More. Nature teaches us just enough. Just enough. It's funny. Look at it when you go out to eat. Do they bring just enough food? Maybe just enough for the next 2 days. And then we get conditioned to finish our plate and eat everything that is brought. Rochelle, many of you know Rochelle, our musician every other Sunday. She has made it a practice. She always brings a little glass to-go container with her to every meal. And the moment the food is brought out, she takes half of it, puts it in the container, and sets it aside. No questions, not even going to look at what's brought. It's just automatic. This is how I function. I'm automatically going to put what is on my plate into a little jar, and that's going to go home and be food for tomorrow. In contrast to this more, ecosystems embody harmony and balance. Trees grow to a height that reflects the nutrients and the water that is immediately available. Squirrels store just the right amount of food to get them through the winter. Quietly witnessing this balance and this harmony is like a salve in the wound of overconsumption. Number 4. Our culture propagates the harmful myth that we should strive to be as comfortable as possible, to make life as pleasurable as possible, and to resist hardship as much as possible. No myth has made us unhappier as a people. We simply cannot be pleasured or comfortable all the time. We cannot control everything. Nature calls us back to this reality. You cannot stop it from raining. You cannot delay the sun setting. You cannot set the temperature at your campsite to a comfortable 70 degrees. With this surrender comes an amazing relief. You awaken from a dream and realize how little control you really have. But this illusion has been given to us, the electronic thermostat, that all we have to do is just dial in the exact temperature, the water valves that can create just the perfect temperature. All the comforts, the remote control, the Uber Eats. I don't ever have to leave my chair. I can just tell Alexa whatever I want and it happens. Wow. Not so much out in nature. In nature, it brings this realization that we are flowing in the same way that nature is, instead of resisting nature every chance we get, trying to change nature every opportunity we can, just because we don't like the temperature. And I'll close with this one, number 5, I guess. Beholding the beauty. How is such majesty possible? This change, the leaf in front of you, the flower, this feeling that we're all sensing as the season begins to shift, the awe of just that. How we're all drawn out to spend time with each other at fairs and festivals and front porches and back porches and yards, campsites. The strength of the mountain standing there all these years, the miracle of the flower infused with sunlight, the revelation of a tree rooted deep in the earth, stretching to the sky and bearing silent witness to the world around it, never needing to change anything about it. You feel awe. And right there, in that moment of awe, there too are you. The awe hasn't been given to you. It is revealed within you. It is always a part of you. It is you. Always with us. Always a part of us. If only we could see each other as God sees us. That is our practice. whatever name you want to put to the divine. And so I will finish with this little phrase from the Tao Te Ching, from our teacher Lao Tzu. Empty yourself of everything. Let the mind become still. The 10,000 things rise and fall, they come and they go, while the self watches their entrances and exits. They grow and flourish, and then they return to the source. Returning to the source is stillness. And stillness is the way of nature. And so let's take a conscious breath together. If you need to shift your posture or stretch, stand up, or whatever you need to do, we acknowledge these little transitions, whether it's a full change of the seasons or just a change in the Sunday morning meditation service as we move from the Dharma talk into our loving kindness practice, our heart practice. And a quick reminder that the heart practice is not intellectual, it is not conceptual, to the extent that we might use our imagination to allow into our mind's eye an image. But that's it. Everything comes completely from the heart. And in doing so, some folks like to perhaps encourage or honor an outward expression. Some people might want to do the Anjali Mudra, which is this heart focusing. Some folks may want to just place their hand on their heart, maybe even both. This is called Eagle Mudra. Or even with your hands open on your lap, facing upwards, sort of like one of those big dish antennas, simply radiating out into the universe, this sacred devotional essence of your heart. And with that, let's take a conscious breath together. And as we release, I invite you now to bring to mind an image, a full body image of you, of the form that has been given your name and that has accrued the many experiences over the years. And holding this image in your mind's eye, recite silently to yourself these words of metta practice or loving kindness practice. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind. And may I be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release that sentiment into the universe, I invite you now to bring to mind the image of a friend of yours. And holding this image of your friend in your mind's eye, let us open our hearts as we send metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release that sentiment into the universe, I invite you now to bring to mind the image of a difficult person in your life, a challenging person. Could be a boss or a coworker, a neighbor, a classmate, or a political figure. And holding this image in your mind's eye, let us open our hearts as together we send metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release that sentiment into the universe, I invite you now to bring to mind the image of the world. All the plants and the trees, the flowers, all the animals of the land, the sea, the sky, and all sentient beings, including ourselves. Holding this image in your mind's eye, let us open our hearts as we send metta to us all. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be safe from inner and outer dangers. May we be well in body and mind. And may we be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. Oops. And in the true spirit of Dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services here are given freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, which means not in return for anything that you have received today, but rather so that those who may be seeking refuge may find it here in this temple with these teachers and with these teachings. The Dana boxes are located at the back of the meditation hall, and we take a moment to honor all of us here, opening our hearts to all of our Sangha that's joining us from around the world via our streaming service. So thank you to all of our Sangha members joining us from afar. I call that the PJ Sangha, all the folks at home in their PJs. And much gratitude for all of our ambassadors who have committed themselves to regular monthly electronic giving. If you'd like to become an ambassador, just stop by our website and click on the Love Offering button, and you can sign up for that there. Again, thank you to all of our incredible volunteers. Dave is pulling double duty today. Not only did he help me set up, but he was platforming. And thank you to Eric, who makes it possible for our PJ Sangha to be here. And so also thank you so much to each and every one of you for sharing your heart and your practice with all of us here at Temple Buddhist Center. We certainly are the better for it. And we will prepare to close our service here together this morning, getting to all you folks in the back row. And I'm going to put up the Bodhicitta dedication. And we will recite this together. And all of our folks up in the heavenly abodes. There. Oops. I don't know why that's not working. We have a blank screen. Okay. And so our bodhicitta together on the screen. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with the palms of our hands together in front of our hearts, as we go forth now from this place, may we enter each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And as we open our hands, open our eyes, shine our light into the world, namaste. And if you have just a moment or two, I have a few announcements for you guys. Don't forget, there is coffee, tea, water, and crumble cookies downstairs in Unity Hall. I know, the best, right? Nothing but the best for our yogis. And also, don't forget our lending library is right over here behind Zan. Hi, Zan. Raise your hand so they can, there's, she's motioning to the lending library. Also, now I'm not sure, today is, like I said, it's a very auspicious day. The interplay is not going to be a full-on session because today is kind of our temple homecoming. So after the 11:30 service, there's going to be food, live music, games for the kids, and all that stuff going on. So I'm not sure if interplay is going today, and I also know for sure that the regular second Sunday Meditation 101 class, which is normally held at 1 o'clock, is also postponed because of the festivities today. So just a quick reminder, so if you want to go and visit the post-service discussion group, which happens right next door in Heritage Hall, or for those of you, you can also join online. Just go to the website, go to the calendar, go to today, and the link will pop up there. And so you can go to that, and you can come back and join the festivities afterwards, or you can walk around the plaza, enjoy nature, and then come back and join us for the food and the drinks afterwards. And as always, here's a list of all the wonderful things that are happening and coming up at Temple Buddhist Center. Every Tuesday morning at 9, you can join Karen and Matt for the Buddha and the Bean. We have recovery services happening every Sunday at 12:30. Dave leads recovery services Thursdays at 7 for Recovery Dharma. There is Tai Chi Cha. This class has really been growing, folks. So there's a wonderful group of folks that are starting to show up every Tuesday evening to learn Tai Chi Cha, which is a contemplative movement practice, a way of moving the energy. And with as nice as it's getting, we might even move outside. So I will leave that up on the board. And so again, as you guys go into your day, I wish you peace, blessings, flowers, trees, and go Chiefs.